Hello, everyone. Today we are there with Vijay for the third episode. This is the final episode about Gen Y and Gen Z. And for the ones who have missed out and who don't know Vijay, Vijay is Vaijayanti Srinivas Raghavan. She is working with IBM and a certified delivery project executive. She has over 27 plus years of experience. She is an author. She's written Shape It and other books. She is winner of numerous prizes. She is a topper in the university and a lot more. And she is a great speaker and one very down to earth and hands on person. So that's why she is there with us to share her experience. So Vijay, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me again here.
Yeah.
Appreciate.
So, Vijay, we were talking about Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, and basically about Gen Y and Gen Z, and how they can, I mean, how is it different for them? What are the challenges? And today we want to ask with you, there's a lot of conflict within. The youngsters, they're always looking out for validation and for success, and people want that pat on the back, wanting that external validation. So today we want to talk about how they can look within and not look out. So if you could please explain what does that mean?
Yeah, I think what is looking within and not looking without. When we were discussing about the three-part series, I think when we were coming up with the idea of doing that, the third one was very important. The third topic that we're talking today, because this is something that we fail to understand many times, that the answer to the problem lies within ourselves. Nobody is going to come from outside and say this is the way to do it. And that comes precisely from my own experience as well. The life is full of challenges. Who doesn't have a challenge? Each one of us, we might be smiling, but there are a bunch of challenges that we walk in when we are at work and when we are at home. But the smartness is how we overcome that. And just I want to narrate my own experience and how I was able to assimilate and kind of get through that situation. I think the reason I share this with my audience and my students is because they ask me, you are successful and how you are successful, right? The
Yes.
first thing I tell them is success is my own benchmark. I don't want somebody to say that I am successful. I am successful. My success is measured based on what I was. Am I better than the past? That's how I define my success. But when I look at my success and I call myself successful, I look at how I was able to manage my obstacles and what I came across. So I want to take you back around, say, 25 years back or so, when I was just not even 25, 30 years back, when I was in the college and I was just getting out of my engineering degree. Um, I had a major setback with my health, and I went to the doctor to um, check on myself, and then they figured out that I had a problem with my one of my hand. And I, Rashmi, you have seen me in many occasions. And if I were to ask you, have you noticed anything different in me when I meet people or
Absolutely nothing, Vijay. I mean, if you had not told, I wouldn't have. And after telling, also, I couldn't make out much of a difference, But
exactly?
yes,
So I'm a challenged person with my left hand. Not many people know, even in the corporate world. I don't really discuss much about it because I want to be one among the others in terms of how I feel, right? But when it comes to knowledge, I want to be one different than others, right? That's how I look at myself. So, where I want to take you back to that era where the advancement in medical technology was just coming up in India. So, when I had my problem with my left hand, my bones got fused, that is near the elbow joint, and eventually my wrist, the left hand, it got fused as well. So the first thing I went to the doctor along with my parents. So the doctor examined me and they said that possibly you can go for an elbow replacement. And he said, and you need to be aware that after maybe 10 or 15 years, if you develop some infection, then you have to go for a resurgery or a corrective surgery. So these was something very unheard of, having a foreign body into your system. not many were accepting, and I myself wasn't aware of too many things. So that was a major blow for me when I heard this from the doctor, and I really could not hold myself. I started crying. I thought everything is right crashing and crumbling down on me, and I didn't know what to do. So that's when my father looked at me and said, never mind, knowledge is the power. So you need to look at what is your strength, and you have to just look at it and move on in your life. So that word still resonates with me even today. Just to let the listeners know about, after a period of time, I went to work, and I came across a very nice friend of mine who suggested me for a corrective surgery. They chipped off a small piece of bone in my elbow, and then I was mobile after that. The only thing they said, there are small setbacks you have to put up with, like you can't lift heavy things. I said that's fine. As far as I'm able to do my work myself. I don't have a problem. So that's the way I looked at my life very positively, that I was able to at least use my left hand the way I can use, and I don't have to depend on somebody. I thought that was a great gift for me. I took it in a very positive spirit. Now, why I say this to my audience and the listeners is, many times people ask the question, why me? And why it is happening to me? I always tell them, don't ask the question as to why it is happening to me. Yes, it has happened to me. Can I turn it around and make it a beautiful opportunity for me? And I started appreciating people around me, because I knew what I went through. I know what are the challenges a challenged person could have. I was able to look at their perspective, not, I won't sympathize with them. I don't really like the word called sympathy, because the people who are challenged don't look for the word called sympathy. They want to be understood. And I started kind of understanding their perspective, and that really helped me to be grounded in life. That's something I learned hard way, and that I look as a positive aspect. The second is, of course, what my dad said is, knowledge is your power. So you have to keep going and learning and achieving. I think these two stood by me, right? So that's why I say the power is within you. You have to make it happen, and nobody is going to come and say this is the way to do it. And I think that's the first experience I had. The second experience I went through as a challenging time was when I was raising my kid as a single mother. And it was very unheard of for a woman from Gen X in our culture to come and say, I'm a single parented mom. And I'm very proud of it, because I was able to raise my child as to a good human being and what he is today. And that's really a great achievement. I really pat my back for that, because I proudly say when I stand in front of the audience, because I did a great job. Sometimes you have to pat your own back. You don't have to wait for somebody to recognize and reward you. And that's how you get self-motivated and you're able to achieve more. That's the second thing that was a real setback. I have even gone for interview schedules when I was taking care of my child, and I had to give interviews for my next job. So it was a challenging time. It was a hard time, but I learned a lot of things in that process. I made good set of friends in the process. I was able to have network with people. And that's a beautiful moment. I didn't really sit and cry. I would have cried, but I cried, and I just got over it. You have to cry, but you have to get over it. But you can't keep crying about what has happened. These are the two defining moments in my life, and I was able to turn it around. And I'm here in front of you, laughing, smiling, and I'm very positive about the outlook of life.
Yeah, Vijay, thank you so much for sharing. I think this is very inspiring for everyone, because students are maybe a little feeling low, COVID, and things like that. So, I mean, these are things which will happen, and and nothing to feel worried about, because life is full of these challenges. And I think if you can overcome one hurdle, you're ready to face the next one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, Vijay, but these are very, a normal person actually would not have been able to take this, what you have, this thing. So I just want to know what was that helped you that to overcome this? Because of course you were very strong, but then I'm sure, like you spoke about your father, so support system, how was it for you? I mean, this is because not everyone gets so much, right, Vijay, and you've come out so strong and so inspiring for everyone, huh?
Yes, I think there are a few things that was really positive for me. My support systems are very strong. My parents are the pillar of support. My late grandparents were pillar of support. My grandfather was the late professor N.S. Rajagopalan. He's a well-known professor down south in colleges, and he was a great motivator for me. My father has been the great motivator, and of course my mother, and she has been a support in terms of uh, giving us the encouragement and just focus on your work and I'll manage things at home, right? Because we had to equally catch up at work, working long hours. So that's of course the support system is one, and the second thing is your friends. And I say this because you need to have a man allyship. That's what we call it as. Many times, it's just not the women or the same gender that you need to have your friends and your motivators. You need to look around the other genders too, uh, another generation too, because I have people from the younger generation who are my motivator. Because whenever I do a talk or whenever I am in a meeting, I take the feedback from them. Where I say that did I really quote or misquote something? Do I have to work on something? I feel that uh, the generation, if we think that we are in a generation X or baby boomer, the perception is that we are right all the time. That's the mindset that we get into. But I want to get out of that. Every meeting I come out, I will say, did I say something right or did I not say something right? Please bring your opinion, right? So I think the mentors need not be from your same generation. The mentor need not be from the same gender. And the third mentor that I always look up to are the books. Because you don't really have to have a person right in front of you. You have to keep reading as much as you can. And there are many self-help books. And one book that stood out right in front of my eyes in the recent past is by John Maxwell. And this is a very, very interesting and a nice book. And each one of you should read this. It's called The Invaluable Laws of Growth. And there is a one
Valuable
chapter,
laws of
growth.
growth.
G,
Okay.
yeah. And there is a chapter number 3. I felt it was resonating so well with my situation. It's called the law of mirror. And what it goes about saying is that people don't reach their potential because of low esteem. When you invest in yourself, you'll see more value in yourself. I think that's very, very important, right? Because many times we look at outwardly what people say and we start undermining ourselves. We don't really know our potential. Sometimes you have to turn the mirror and look yourself in the mirror. And if I were to quote myself for my situation I was in, if I was looking at somebody's input and say, "Oh my God, Vijay, this has happened to you, so sad," and that possibly would have put me in a downward spiral. But rather, when I started looking inwards and turning the mirror towards me, and I said, I have to achieve this potential as to what my dad has said, and I have to really use my knowledge. I think that is where you don't get into the low self esteem mode, but you get into the positive perspective of life. I think this is a book which so much I feel is talking about how I looked at myself. And the chapter 3 of this book I really felt is so close to my heart because I was reading myself in that book in that chapter. When these were said by John in his book, and it's a fantastic.
Okay. And Vijay, what are the life skills that these youngsters, the Gen Y and Gen Z, need to have in order to look within and not look out and to build a great career and a life too?
Yeah, okay. So I have to again rewind back to a story because I like telling a lot of stories.
Yeah.
So when you would remember, Rashmi, when I had come down to your college, when we were doing research of many engineering graduates across Pan India, along with my co-author, and that is when I think I happened to come across at your campus in Sayadri and Bangalore, and we met quite a bit of students there. And the book that's called The Shape It, I have it right here. So I'm just going to flash it a minute. Are you able to see the book?
A little higher, Viji.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Shape it. Yes.
And interestingly, when this IT was put in, people thought it's an IT services or something. Absolutely not. It is called internal transformation. Everybody has to internalize what they're doing for them to come up with these five traits, the shape, right? I'm going to talk about the internal transformation. The internal transformation is all about how do you bring the best in you. I'm just going to flash a slide for you because when you are playing in the YouTube, people should know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen in a bit. You see it?
Yeah.
So when we wrote this internal transformation in the book, we saw the four significant traits the students had, and that was what we called it as the bring the best version of yourself. The B was the branding, and E was expanding your network, and S is self-aware and think together. And I want to talk about each one of them probably in a few lines. The brand you is all about how authentic you are, right? That's where everything begins. If somebody has to talk about me as an individual, I think the first thing that Rashmi always keeps telling me, Vijay, when you come in, you bring in the positivity. I think that's exactly the brand that I carry, right? If
Yeah.
somebody has to say something else about me, my closest friend, they will say, you have the utmost willpower that we have seen, that you are a go-getter. So that's my brand. Everybody needs to have that authentic you in you. That is what the brand is all about. But today, interestingly, the branding along with the social media has become more interesting. That's where you have this concept of influencers. The influencers and social media has to bring that authentic you along with the social media platform. And that's what we saw in these students when we were interviewing them.
Mhm.
The second thing that was definitely in them was how they were leveraging their network. And I think I did speak about myself when I went through the difficult time. You have to leverage your network. You will have to meet the people who have been similar you. That means who have been through a similar situation like you. So that's why we keep telling, go to the meetup groups, meet people, and try to talk to them and try to share your views and experiences, right? Nobody is perfect person in the world. So expanding your network will bring in that openness, and you will be able to talk to the other person. The third thing is very important, and we saw that very well during our discussion, was on the self-aware aspect. They knew what they were doing. I should know what I'm saying. I should know whether I am saying the right thing at the right time. It's not the, I don't see it as diplomatic, but what is the purpose of being self aware is not hurting anybody. At the end of the day, you have to be aware, and you have to be spreading the positivity, and you should be aware of what you're saying and doing. That is what is seen by people many times. And that is what we saw in most of the students. And finally, the big thing that we find which stands out as the best of the version is working together, thinking together, collaborating together. Today, with all the more we are working remotely, everybody is working in silos, and that's where many organizations are working on how do we collaborate together and bring in the collaboration platform, bring the life in the people by thinking together. I think this is a perspective that I have in terms of how do you really bring the best in you, and that's what each one of us have to do, and that's what our research have shown when we were writing the book as well.
Vijay, thank you so much because this really sums up the whole thing. And any last minute thoughts that you want to share with the audience? It could be for this or summarizing all the three.
I think I have just one quote which is very, very dear to me, and I want to leave with that quote. This is by Dennis Waitley. The quote goes like this: "The personal development is the belief that you are worth the effort, time, and energy needed to develop yourself." If you hear and listen to this quote very, very closely, you will understand that it is all about you and you and you, nobody else. Nobody is going to come and help you. It is you who have to look within, and nobody is going to come from outside and say that you have to do this. So don't even look out, look within. It's all about you. Put the effort, time, and energy on yourself to develop yourself. That's the final thought I have, Rashmi.
Thank you, Vijay, so much. And I definitely am going to look within. I always was, but I think I'm going to look more within. Thanks for this.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Vijay. Huh?
Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bye for now. And till we meet again, I hope you will be there for the next episode for whatever it is. Thank you.